The stepkids made it crystal clear. I needed to know my place in their home. Well, I figured out pretty quick exactly where I fit in. Out the door, taking my wallet and hard-earned money with me. Hey everyone, welcome to Reddit Visuals. For the longest time, I truly believed love could earn you respect. I thought that if you poured enough of yourself into people, your time, your effort, your paycheck, they'd eventually see you as family. Turns out, some folks will drink from your well for years and still gripe that the water isn't cold enough. I'm Marcus. I'm 43 now, an electrician by trade, and once upon a time I really thought I was building a blended family. What I was actually doing was bankrolling a crew of ungrateful freeloaders who treated me like a walking ATM with a set of tools. This is the story of how 3 stepkids ended up teaching me the hardest lesson. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do is finally walk away. So let's rewind 7 years. Back to when this all started. I met Elena when I was 36. She was 34, divorced, raising 3 kids on her own. Dylan, 14, Chloe, 12, and Lucas, 10. Looking back now, I honestly don't know what possessed me. Maybe it was Elena herself. She had that kind of presence. The type of woman who could step into a room and instantly own it. She was sharp, confident, and when she looked at you, it was like you were the only person that mattered. At the time, I had a decent 2-bedroom apartment and was slowly stacking up savings for a house of my own. Elena, on the other hand, was crammed in a rundown rental with her kids. The place was falling apart, the landlord wouldn't fix a thing, and her ex, Adrian, was behind on child support again. After about 8 months of dating, I thought I'd make this grand romantic gesture. I found a beautiful 4-bedroom house in a great school district and suggested we all move in together. I'd take care of the down payment and mortgage. She could handle groceries and day-to-day expenses. In my mind, we'd be a team. The kids seemed thrilled. Finally, their own rooms, a big backyard, and a basement game room. I spent weeks making it special for them. A gaming setup for Dylan, a study nook for Chloe, and a cozy little reading corner for Lucas. I wanted them to feel like this was truly their home, too. And honestly, that first year, it was good. Really good. I never once tried to replace their dad. Adrian showed up every now and then, every other weekend if we were lucky, but I was the one there day in and day out. Picking them up from school when Elena worked late, helping with homework, shuttling them to practices and friends' houses. I fixed their bikes, taught Dylan how to handle basic car maintenance, helped Chloe with science projects. I poured myself into those kids because I cared about them. I really did. And for a while I thought they cared about me too. But around year 2 the tone shifted. It started with little things. Dylan stopped saying thank you. Chloe would roll her eyes when I offered to help. Lucas dropped the nickname Mark and started calling me Marcus again, like I was just some guy. Elena noticed it too. She brushed it off, saying, "They're just testing boundaries. All kids do this with step-parents. They'll grow out of it." Except they didn't grow out of it. They grew into it. By year 3, the disrespect was impossible to ignore. When people asked them about family, they'd say, "It's me, my mom, my brother, and my sister." I didn't even make the cut. At Dylan's football games, he'd introduce Elena as my mom and flat out ignore me. Even though I was the one hauling him to practice 3 times a week, rain or shine. Still, I kept giving. Chloe wanted the pricey dance academy. I wrote the check. Lucas struggled with math. I hired the best tutor in town and paid for weekly sessions. Dylan's car broke down. I spent an entire Saturday fixing it. No charge. And what came back my way? I rolls. Size. Whatever, Marcus. Elena started running interference for them. They're teenagers. They've got divorce trauma. Adrian's putting ideas in their heads. But Adrian wasn't around enough to put ideas in anybody's head. He'd bailed on so many weekends that his kids didn't even expect him anymore. I was the one showing up. I was the dependable one. But apparently, in their eyes, that made me the hired help, not part of the family. Things really boiled over last year when Elena and I finally tied the knot. I thought making it official might help. I thought the kids would see me as more than just mom's boyfriend. I even asked Dylan to be in the wedding party. He said yes, but you could tell his heart wasn't in it. The ceremony was small but beautiful. Elena looked stunning. The kids played their parts, but it felt like they were just going through the motions. At the reception, I overheard Chloe talking to her cousin. "Yeah, Mom married Marcus. He pays for everything, so I guess it makes sense. Not we love him. Not he's good to us. Just He pays for everything. That line should have been my wake-up call, but I still clung to hope. After the honeymoon, I sat everyone down to talk about what being a blended family should mean: respect, boundaries, expectations. Dylan cut me off mid-sentence. Dude, just because you married our mom doesn't mean you're our dad. You need to get that through your head. Chloe chimed in. Yeah, Adrian's our dad. You're just Marcus. And then Lucas, the one I thought I was closest to, hit me with the final blow. You're nice and all, but you're not really family. You're just like mom's helper. Elena sat there silent. No defense, no correction, nothing. Just an awkward quiet. That night I couldn't sleep. It sank in that I'd been fooling myself for years. These kids never saw me as a father figure. They saw me as a wallet, a chauffeur, a handyman. Nothing more. Even then, I still wasn't ready to walk away until 3 months ago. That's when I overheard the conversation that finally broke me. I'd come home early from a job site to grab some tools. The kids didn't hear me come in, they were in the kitchen, making snacks and talking. Dylan, Marcus thinks he's our dad or something. It's honestly embarrassing. Chloe, I know, right? Like, dude, you're not special. You just married our mom. Lucas, he acts like he owns this house or something. Like we should be grateful he even exists. Dylan, he needs to know his place. This is our house, our family. He's just the guy who pays the bills. Chloe, exactly. He's lucky mom even lets him stick around. Most moms wouldn't put up with some random dude trying to play dad. Lucas, he's so desperate for us to like him. It's actually pathetic. And then they laughed. Not cruel laughter, not even angry. Just casual amusement, like I was the punchline to an inside joke. I stood there in my own hallway, in the house I was paying for, listening to the kids I'd raised for 7 years dismiss me like I was some charity case they had to put up with. That was the moment something inside me didn't just break. It flat out died. I quietly walked back out, sat in my truck, and drove around aimlessly for 2 hours. When I finally came home, I played it cool, ate dinner, helped Lucas with homework, asked Dylan about football. But inside, I knew. I was done. Over the next few weeks, I started keeping records of everything. Every dollar I spent, every bill I covered, every little thing I provided. The mortgage, the utilities, Dylan's car insurance, Chloe's dance academy, Lucas's tutoring sessions, groceries, clothes, phones, gaming subscriptions, streaming services, you name it, I wrote it down. When I added it all up, the total knocked the wind out of me. Over 7 years, I had poured nearly $400,000 into this family. Don't judge me too harshly. I did it out of love. I thought I was investing in people. Looking back, I should have invested in literally anything else. And that number didn't even include the house down payment. On top of the receipts, I also started recording certain conversations. Not to be sneaky, just to cover my own back. I had this gut feeling things were headed for a blow-up. And sure enough, I was right. Last month, it all came crashing down. Elena had been working late all week, so it was just me and the kids for dinner. I picked up their favorite takeout, set it all up, tried to make the night feel nice. Dylan was glued to his phone, Chloe was griping about her teachers, and Lucas just sat there acting like nobody else existed. I tried to break the ice. So, how was everybody's day? Dylan muttered, fine. Without looking up, Dylan, can you put the phone down while we eat? I'm trying to talk here. He finally lifted his head, and the look he gave me was pure contempt. You're not my dad. You don't get to tell me what to do. Chloe pounced right after him. Yeah, Marcus, just because you live here doesn't mean you're in charge. And then Lucas, the one I'd always thought of as the closest to me, drove the nail in. This isn't even your house. It's ours. You need to remember your place. I set my fork down slowly. My place. Dylan smirked. Yeah, your mom's husband. That's it. You don't get to parent us or boss us around. Chloe added, we already have a dad. We don't need another one, especially not one who tries so hard. Lucas shrugged and said, this is our family. You're just here. I looked around that table at the 3 kids I had loved, supported, and sacrificed so much for. Kids who were flat out telling me I didn't belong. In the very house my paycheck was keeping afloat, in the family I had been trying to build for 7 long years. You're right, I said softly. I do need to know my place. I excused myself, went to my office, and pulled out every binder of financial records I had prepared. Bank statements, mortgage payments, receipts, everything. Then I called my lawyer. When Elena got home that night, I was waiting at the kitchen table with the binders stacked neatly in front of me. "We need to talk," I said. She immediately knew something was wrong. "What's going on?" I hit play on the recording from dinner. The kids telling me I wasn't family, that it wasn't my house, that I needed to know my place. Watching her face drain of color was all the confirmation I needed. "Marcus, they're just kids. Teenagers. They don't mean it." I cut her off. "Elena, they've been saying this for years. You've heard it yourself. And you've never once corrected them. Not once." She started to protest, but I held up my hand. "I'm finished. I've given 7 years of my life trying to earn respect from people who only see me as a credit card. I've been there for everything, paid for everything, and all I've gotten back is rolled eyes and disrespect." I slid the binders across the table. "Here's every dollar I've spent, the house, the bills, the clothes, the activities, for $100,000. And that's not counting the time, the effort, or the love." Elena broke down crying. "Marcus, please. I'm selling my half of the house. You can buy me out or move in with somebody else. The utilities will be transferred to your name. I'm taking myself off the insurance, the phone plan, the streaming accounts, all of it. You can't just walk away from us." "I'm not walking away from anyone. I'm giving them exactly what they asked for. They told me I wasn't family. They told me I had no place here. Well, I finally agree with them." The next few days were chaos. Suddenly the kids learned what it really meant when Marcus just pays for everything wasn't true anymore. The Wi-Fi went dead. Dylan's car insurance got canceled. Chloe's dance lessons disappeared. Dylan cracked first. "Dude, this is insane. We didn't mean it like that." "Yes, you did. And that's fine. You've still got your real dad. He can handle it now." Chloe tried the tears. "Please don't leave us. We're sorry." "Sorry for what?" I asked. "For years of disrespect? For saying I wasn't family? Or just sorry because the free ride's over?" Lucas, the one who once called me Mark, hit me with the final heartbreak. "I didn't know you were keeping track of money. That's kind of mean." Even in an apology, I was still the bad guy. Elena begged, promised things would change, but I was worn out. 7 years of being dismissed as just Marcus had drained me dry. I wasn't about to spend another 7 trying to prove I mattered. 2 weeks later, I moved out, found myself a quiet apartment across town. Just me, my tools, and finally, some peace of mind. The house sold quickly. Elena couldn't afford it on her own. She and the kids moved in with her sister. Adrian, the so-called real dad, suddenly had a million excuses when they needed anything. Over the next few months, I got letters from the kids. Dylan admitted he hadn't realized how much I did. Chloe said she took me for granted. Lucas sent a crayon drawing with "I'm sorry" scrawled across it. Sweet gestures, maybe, but none of them could actually say what they were sorry for. They weren't sorry for treating me like trash. They were sorry I left. I never responded. 6 months later, Elena texted me. "Adrian can't handle them. Dylan's failing school. Chloe quit dancing. Lucas cries every night. They need stability. They need you." I wrote back, "They made it clear I wasn't their family. Nothing's changed." She kept calling until I finally blocked her number. Because here's the thing, I finally understood the truth. You can't love someone into respecting you. You can't throw money at people until they value you. And you can't buy a place in someone's heart. Those kids had 2 dads. One who vanished and one who showed up every day. They chose DNA over devotion. So I chose myself. A year later, I met Naomi. She's a teacher, divorced, no kids of her own. She treats me like I'm the most important man in the world. We're getting married next month. Sometimes I bump into Elena at the grocery store. She looks worn out, stressed. We nod, but we don't speak. I've heard through mutual friends. Dylan dropped out of school. Chloe's flipping burgers. Lucas is struggling. Do I feel bad? Sometimes. But then I remember 16-year-old Lucas looking me dead in the eye and telling me to know my place in the house I was paying for. And I did. My place was anywhere but there. So here's the question. Was I wrong for walking away from 3 kids who told me, over and over, that I wasn't their family? Was I wrong for leaving it to their real dad to step up? For finally choosing my happiness over their convenience? I don't think so. Because sometimes the most loving thing you can do is stop enabling people's worst behavior, even if those people are kids you once cared for deeply. The truth is, those kids learned too late that just Marcus was actually the foundation their whole world rested on. And once that foundation walked away, everything collapsed. What would you have done? Drop your thoughts in the comments. And if this story hits home for you, don't forget to like and subscribe. We've got plenty more family drama on the way. Trust me, you won't want to miss what's next.